This is the appointed time. We have a quorum. I call to order the meeting of the panel on transport. This is the first meeting in the 2026 session. We now proceed with election of chairman. The Secretariat has issued a notice to inform members that at the close of the nomination period, we have only received one valid nomination. The member so nominated is Mr. Ben Chan. He is nominated by me and seconded by Captain Lothea Lam. As Mr. Ben Chan is not chair or deputy chair of any panel or committee, nor is he chair or deputy chair of any related government advisory bodies according to the rules of procedure and the House rules, I declare that Mr. Ben Chan is returned chair of the panel on transport for the 2026 session. Congratulations. Please come forward to chair the meeting. Next, election of deputy chair. We now proceed to the election of deputy chairman of the panel of transport for 2026 session. The Secretariat has issued a notice to inform members that at the end of the nomination period, only one valid nomination has been received. The member so nominated is Mr. Perry Yu, nominated by Mr. Mark Chong and seconded by Captain Lothea Lam. As Mr. Perry Yu is not chair or deputy chair of any committee or panel, nor is he chair or deputy chair of any related government advisory bodies. In accordance with the rules of procedure and the House rules, I declare that Mr. Perry Yu is returned deputy chair of the panel on transport for 2026 session. Would you like to take a seat here, Mr. Yu? Next, schedule of meetings. You've been given this schedule. In the 2025 session, the regular meetings of this panel were usually held at 10:45 a.m. on the third Friday of each month. So if members agree to adopt the same arrangements, please refer to the proposed schedule as tabled. And please note that on the request of the government, the February regular meeting will be rescheduled to the 11th of February at 8:30 a.m. Right, if there are no objections, then please note the change. Now, the third Friday of April clashes with the special finance committee meetings. So the April regular meeting is rescheduled to 2:30 p.m. on the 9th of April. Also, the third Friday of June is a public holiday. The June regular meeting is rescheduled to 4:30 p.m. on the 15th of June, Monday. The items for discussion at the next meeting. At the next meeting, the policy briefing will be conducted to allow members a full grasp of the government's policy directions. The Secretary for Transport and Logistics will hold a briefing for panel members between 4:30 and 6 p.m. on the 30th of January, Friday, to brief members on the policy portfolio. Next regular meeting will be held at 8:30 a.m. on the 11th of February. Now, the administration has proposed to discuss two items. One, 6101TX Universal Accessibility Program, and B, a regulatory requirement or enhanced regulatory requirement for driving license applicants or license holders on physical fitness. Any views? Right, if not, the floor is open. Members are invited to propose items for discussion at the meetings in the 2026 session. I will give each member 2 minutes. If you want to speak, please press the request to speak button. 12 members. I'll read out the names in this order: Gary Chan, Mark Chong, Lothea Lam, Yau Ming, Kasaf Tam, Chan Sil Hong, Eric Yim, Charles Chong, Aaron Bok, David Lam, Christine Fong, Perry Yu, Holden Chow, Champui Kong, Michael Lee. Anyone else? All right, Mr. Gary Chan, you may begin. 3 points to make, Chairman, for discussion in this year's panel meetings. First, Sha Tin bypass will be built. As you know, for the Sha Tin Tai Po section of To Lo Harbour is a black spot of traffic jam. As the government will commence the project on Sha Tin Pass or bypass, I'd like the government to brief us on the proposed alignment, timetable, etc. Next, I don't know whether this falls within the transport panel or the development panel. It's about Pak Shek Kok Station. We're going to have a motion debate next week. This is something that residents in both places look forward to. According to the government, the completion date will be in 2033. It's 7 years away. I'd like to know more about the specific details from the government. So, Chairman, please find out whether this discussion should take place at this panel or the other panel. Third point, whilst meeting with the district councillors, the Tai Po district councils proposed to commence a project on the flyover at Kwang Fuk Road. It has the support of the district council. I mean, it also had the support of members of the Legislative Council who took part in this meeting. This could help solve the traffic congestion along Kwang Fuk Road. Still, it's not in our plan. Please make sure this is listed. Right. I am reminded by the clerk that we cannot extend this meeting. I see that 15 members would like to speak. So instead of 2 minutes, each member will only have 1 minute to speak. I'm sorry. We spent another minute on this already. Mr. Mark Chong. Discussion on the new tolls for Tai Lam Tunnel and the effectiveness of the tunnel traffic redistribution, and also for the Tuen Mun, the design of the new ventilation building of Route 11 tunnel Tuen Mun section, and also third point, progress on legislative amendments to regulate electric mobile device as well as data collection, and also southbound vehicle travel scheme and the specific quotas, a study on the regulatory requirements on tinted car windows, whether there is a need to revise the design standards, and from Hung Shui Kiu to Siu Lam, and also the Sunny Bay route, whether I'd like the government to discuss its feasibility. Right, Captain Lothea Lam. 3 suggestions. New energy transports. We're not moving away from electric cars to hydrogen-fueled vehicles and also solar-powered vehicles. This panel should discuss these issues. Next, increasing parking spaces for commercial vehicles, especially heavy commercial vehicles. We have been short of parking spaces. Next, before the end of the last term, the government introduced a regulatory framework for online hailing services. I think the government should report to us the progress of the next step. When will we proceed to the next step, including licensing requirements? Next, Mr. Yeo Ming. I'd like to follow up on the transport planning for NT North. Questions have been put in the council, but I'd like to follow up on the matters including the roundabout and Kai Lang, including the road widening project. The consultancy study is completed. I want to know when exactly the funding will be approved for the project, and also Northern Highway and its alignment. Together with Mr. Holden Chow, we consulted the local community. We collected views. I'd like to follow up on this project so that the alignment and its connection with the Shuttlecock Highway can suit the needs of local residents. And also for the railway project, we'd like to follow up on our connectivity with the Shenzhen Rail as well. Next, Mr. Tam Chen Kok. I'd like the panel to follow up on transport infrastructure. The Hong Kong port will be recommissioned this year. It will be a 24-hour land crossing. I'd like to know the relevant transport arrangements. Second point about the Northern Link as well as the Northeast Extension and the East Extension. This is an important railway line. I'd like the government to report progress to us together with details on design and alignment. Hung Shui Kiu Ha Chun project as well as the latest progress of the Hong Kong Shenzhen Rail. Next, Mr. Chen Siu-hong. First, the government should come back and report to us on autonomous driving as well as planning for smart transport in Northern Metropolis. There are trials that are ongoing for autonomous driving. The government should draw up a clear action plan and roadmap for the development of autonomous driving. I also agree with the other member that in terms of subsidiary legislation to be enacted for online hailing services, we should discuss them as quickly as possible. Shortage of parking space, again, the idea already floated by Mr. Lam, and I'd like to address the public's concern on pedestrian crossing facilities, such as projecting red light at pedestrian crossing to enhance pedestrian safety. I'd like to know the effectiveness and the implementation plan. Another point, as reflected by members of the public, is that apart from timer for a pedestrian crossing, there are also timers around the world for vehicular crossing carriageways as well. Mr. Eric Yim, at the panel on development meeting this morning, members proposed a discussion with the government on low altitude economy and the yacht economy. I think these are related to our panel as well. So I think a joint meeting or two can be held so that members can speak to the government on the relevant policies. Next, Mr. Zhao Siu-chung. The licensing office earlier had queues outside, and the Transport Department rolled out an e-system afterwards, and then according to media reports, through bots and tweaks in the apps, some elements could still get quotas for others, and that has led to unfairness. I think the government should conduct a comprehensive review on resource allocation and the promotion of e-public services. I'd like the government to report progress to us. Mr. Aaron Bok. I want a report from the government on transport infrastructure projects put on hold apart from the Northern Metropolis projects such as the Qing Long Highway, Route 11, etc. I'd like the government to report the progress of these projects to us. Also, we have some existing transport infrastructure that's quite old. They need to be repaired, such as the Lion Rock Tunnel. Maintenance and repair should be conducted on a large scale. I'd like to receive a progress report from the government. Also, tattered roads with potholes. This is often the complaint from the public. And about using new tar materials for the paving of carriageways, I'd like the government to brief us on that as well.
Dr. David Lam, thank you, Chairman. Just very briefly, I would like the government to legislate for bicycle riders to wear helmets. The previous term of during the previous session, I have written a letter to the government, and the government responded positively, but there's still nothing done yet. Now, riders without helmets is very dangerous, so we need to review this. Ms. Christine Fong, thank you, Chairman. I am concerned about the development of cycling tracks and also the New Territories Southeast Railway developments, for example, more departures along Cheung Kar Nou Line and Tuen Ma Line. I would like to learn about the timetable. And also, can we increase the number of parking spaces for commercial vehicles overnight in residential areas? And also, from Tseung Kwan O, Lotus Park to Po Lam, with the aging population, we need to improve the accessibility of the transportation system there. Thank you. Mr. Perry Yu, thank you, Chairman. As the Deputy Chairman, I will do my best to support you in conveying all the concerns raised by members to the transportation, to the TLB. Now about the Hung Shui Kiu Qianhai Railway. Besides striving for early completion, I would also like to have it extended to the airport. Now, after the commissioning of the railway, residents in Shenzhen can travel conveniently to our airport. If it is not connected to the airport, the function of our airport would be weakened. Next, Mr. Holden Chow. Thank you, Chairman. Several issues. First, Hung Shui Kiu, Two Moon East to Sunny Bay, there will be a railway there. I would like to learn about the latest progress and design of the future railway. And also, at Thailand, with the aging population, we need more lifts and escalators. Now, the timer of pedestrian crossings, I submitted a written question last year. I would like to receive a response from the government on the progress. Legislation to regulate electric mobility devices and electric bikes. They are causing dangers on the street. It's a matter of safety. We need to discuss this in the panel. Next, Mr. Chan Pui Kong. Thank you, Chairman. 3 questions. One, the East Kowloon Smart Green Mass Transit System. I hope it can be implemented soon. And also the Central Kowloon Railway and the extension, I hope it will be completed soon. 3, expanding the Kwun Tong Railway Station and connected with Yumen Square. Thank you. Mr. Michael Lee, thank you, Chairman. Parking spaces for commercial vehicles, as mentioned by others. And also, mutual recognition of cross-boundary vehicle driver's license, improving the railway and also public transport green transformation. We need more support for them and also more dedicated lanes during peak hours for public transport. Can taxis also use them? In terms of hardware, extension of railways, infrastructure-led in the Northern Metropolis, how can we improve the design of the transportation network there? Thank you. Mr. Lam Wai Kong. Thank you, Chairman. Several issues. Now with railway as the backbone, what about public light minibuses, franchise bus, and other transportation means? What is their positioning? And also, after the rationalizing of the 3 tunnels, what's the latest progress? And also, regulating online health vehicle and measures to crack down on vehicles for illegal hire. Now about and also the lack of boarding and unboarding spaces for franchise buses, and also the rest schedule for public minibuses drivers is only a guideline, so we need to legislate for their mandatory rest time. And also we need to review the penalties for traffic offenses. For taxi drivers using more than 2 mobile phones without electronic payments, they would need to be imprisoned. So we need to review that penalty. Ms. Julia Lau, thank you. Infrastructure projects are costly, so to ensure wise use of public resources, we need to ensure that certain projects are independently audited to ensure that money is well spent. Another member has requested for a second round, but time is up, so please submit your further views in written form. Thank you. I and the Deputy Chairman will meet with the government to work out the work plan for the 2026 session and consider members' views. So some items will be discussed in a consolidated manner. Concerning the establishment of subcommittee on policy issues, at last week's House Committee meeting, the Chairman has briefed members on the principle behind establishing subcommittees to study policy issues on the panel or the House Committee. It was agreed that priority would be decided upon receipt of all proposals from members to set up subcommittees. If you would like to establish a subcommittee under the panel to study matters of public interest or concern, please submit your proposal to the Secretariat before 5 p.m. on Friday, the 6th of February. The proposal must include the terms of reference, the timetable, and the work plan of the subcommittee. And please be reminded that for subcommittees on the panel, the membership must not exceed 20, comprising more than half of the panel's members. While it is open to non-panel members, the number should not exceed the number of panel members. Also, concerning the subcommittee on matters relating to railway under the Transport Panel, which has been established since the second term of LegCo, I would like to seek members' views. Do we need to establish this committee again in this term or session? That subcommittee would be responsible for monitoring the implementation and design of new railway projects and the operation of existing railways. If you all agree, we will discuss this matter at the regular meeting next month. Mr. Chen Xiu-hong, please switch on his mic. Thank you, Chairman. I fully agree with you that under the Transport Panel, we always have this subcommittee on matters relating to railway. Now, there are so many issues under the purview of this panel, and we don't always have enough time to discuss the matters in relation to railway. Railway will take up a large proportion in future infrastructure development, including design, alignment, maintenance, operation of railways. So according to our past experience, we need to continue with this subcommittee. So I support your proposal. So please consider this matter. At the next regular meeting in February, I will bring up this matter and decide whether we need to establish this subcommittee. Any other business? Not from me. There being none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.